Hi everyone, welcome back. Today's video is about first impression of Lancome Taint Idol Ultra Wear. I haven't used it before. I did a video comparison in Russian yesterday, so who is interested, have a look at the link below. And comparing this foundation, which is new to me, I'm a big fan of foundations, and I think I've got pretty much every single one of them under the under the sun. And this is a double wear Estee Lauder, which is also quite well-known brand. And the reason I decided to compare them too, because they make pretty much the same claims. They say about the same long-lasting wearability and quality and coverage and everything else. So I thought I compare them to. I did video in Russian, as I said yesterday, and I already know which one is better for me personally, but this is very subjective because that's my skin and it's how I feel about wearing it. But I wanted to do a visual evidence for you, and then we can talk through. It's early morning now. It's 7:30, and I will do I will leave it. It says 24 hours, and this one is double wear, allegedly for should last all day. So, and I switch back on in the end of the day, end of working day, and I do wrap up video and summary in the evening. So let's start. So what I have on me at the moment is barely anything. I have done a little bit of a concealer there under my eyes, and that's pretty much it. I haven't got anything. I only used my normal moisturizer for the day, and I intentionally not use any of the any aids to keep foundation going longer. So I'm going to use this on this half of the face. I do with double wear and see what happens. So I used it before. For some reason, it didn't kind of go with me full length of relationship, if you know what I mean, with foundation. Sometimes you just stick to one, or you like one or two, maybe three. And this one, I keep coming to it. But I think it was because it was an offer. I think it was a few months ago, they fill up the thing. They give you a little empty box. Empty bottle, and you go to the counter and they will fill it up with the tone which matches your skin. So they did a test, and mine is almond. For the life of mine, I can't remember. It's almond, but it's is it pale almond or something? So it's kind of pinky. It's not completely yellow, but it's not as pink as the other one. I'll show you in a minute. So let me just do this, and I usually work with either sponge or brush. So I use sponge today. So what I look for in foundation is obviously so it doesn't stay on your shirt. So the application seems to be, it's quite even, it's quite fine. It's not sticky at the moment. The other one I'm comparing with is Lancome Ultra Wear, which says 24 hours. It says 24-hour wear there. And this is the number 202. They say it's always best to put foundation on your skin first, on the palm of your hand or just anywhere, even with your fingers, because with the body temperature they tend to sort of melt and apply better. So this color is slightly lighter, and it's got a tiny bit pink undertone to it. So I'm kind of more in favor of this. Right, let's try this with this. They both damp, obviously, for better application. I watched Wayne Goss, who I absolutely love. He was talking about the best way of applying foundation, and he does use his own brushes, which I also love, and I have his brushes. I use them. I found them very, very, very soft and very lovely. He uses the sponges quite a lot as well. And he says the length of time we spend sort of pushing the foundation through into the pores, so it kind of blends and it bonds with the skin. The longer you do it, the better result you have. So for me, at the moment, I don't feel any difference, and this is exactly what happened yesterday when I was doing this review in Russian. For the first application, there's no difference. So let's do a very light second layer. I'm gonna give it 10 good hours, which probably average what time takes you to go to work and come back. And coming back home, you still want to look like a human being. A lot of times, if I don't spend good amount of time pushing it into the pores and applying foundation properly, or using one of the tricks that Wayne Goss actually told about, using powder on the moisturizer and the foundation, that works well as well, particularly if your skin is oily. That works really, really well. But if I don't do it, I tend to top up my makeup at lunchtime. But let's just give it a fair chance to set and see what happens, because we can judge very quickly. But yesterday I experienced something which I'm not going to tell you yet, because that's unfair. That defeats the object of the exercise. So now again, Lancome. This second layer, it gives, I think it gives perfectness. If foundation is right, the tone and the texture, if it's right, then it is it's worth doing this. Then it gives you, it takes out all the bits that you missed, and it also, it kind of fills the gaps where you didn't do it. Also, what he's saying, Wayne Goss is saying, when you tap it in with a sponge and really, really give it time and really do it properly, don't rush, then it kind of, we all have facial hair. I don't know anyone who hasn't got any, even tiny, tiny little fluff there. So when you do it with a brush, and you do it with a brush like this, they stick out. So with a sponge, with a sponge and beauty blender like this, it kind of puts them to the skin, so they get in place, and skin looks actually quite smooth, hasn't got any. I do have facial hair, I think everybody does, especially with age it gets a bit wilder. So there we are. So I'm going to finish off with my eyes and everything else, and I'll show you in a minute how it looks, sort of final product, and then I will check in again at about 6 o'clock p.m, maybe 5 or so. So we'll see how it goes. Alright, don't go away. Okay, that's just a quick check-in. I've done my face, and I'm going to come back at about 6 p.m. and show you how it did last, or it didn't last, which part. So for the purpose of this exercise, I haven't put any spray to hold makeup. It's just to really be objective and honest with how do foundations look, how they feel, how they last, what's the best one in my opinion. So once again, on this side I have Double Wear, and on this side I have Lancome. Double Wear is Estee Lauder, and this is Lancome Ultra Wear, which is 24 hours. And as a reminder, my skin is, it's not a reminder because I didn't say it before, my skin is combination skin. I have a little bit of oily T-zone, but generally this part tend to get drier. It actually soaks the moisture as much as it can, and my skin is 51 years old. I check in with you at 6 o'clock or just after. Okay, thanks very much. I see you in a bit. Hello, it's me, I'm back. Okay, so it has been 10 hours now. In the morning I put on one side of the face, this side of the face, I put Lancome, and on this side of the face, I put double wear Estee Lauder, and Lancome is the ultra wear, which is 24 hours, allegedly. So, what is my verdict? I don't remember when I had to do such a difficult review, because I'm torn apart, and I'll tell you why. Yesterday, when I did this review in Russian, I only had 2.5 hours, and I thought in 2.5 hours I possibly could conclude or make some conclusion about what's best and what's how does it last and how does it feel. I certainly made a conclusion about how it feels, and it still feels the same now after 10 hours. This side, Estee Lauder, which is double wear, I can feel it's on my skin. The coverage is more opaque. The coverage is a little bit more intense. I can't say that I can see it on my skin, but I can feel it on my skin. So overall, the feeling of the Lancome is almost like a feeling of my own skin. So I don't know, it's either really very, very light, or it's so good that you can't see it. The color is obviously ideal for me. This is number 2, and my skin is quite fair. How it held the rest of the makeup, because you don't just put foundation and go. I had a bronzer and I had blusher. So this side, I felt like I had to top it up. It went much paler and less. You can see I've got a tiny bit of patch of that, and this is only because this part of my skin is quite dry, part of the face. So it's really difficult to judge on this particular face with this particular skin. But it's it sits pretty well. I think it looks very natural. So this side kept the rest of the makeup, which is for sculpturing this sort of brown sculpturing part, as well as the blusher. I don't feel, even now after so many hours, I need to top it up. So I'm kind of torn apart there, because they're both very good quality. They certainly are both very good quality. But this face, this part of the face, feels like I've got it on, and it's more sticky. This one is like my own skin, though I know I've got it on. So I try to, this time of the evening, sun is on this side of the house, and I try not to go into the sun. So basically, there's still a tiny little bit of patch, but I think it's because this part of the skin is, so I need to use more intense cream there, I think. This one, I felt that little wrinkles, fine wrinkles there. On this side, I can see more than on this. So it is it's difficult. So my verdict is, if your skin is dry, this will give you patches, I think. And this will feel much more sort of like something on your skin, like a film on your skin. Though it's more opaque, and I think this is probably better for the evening. And it's certainly, in terms of having makeup on, this side feels like it's more long-lasting than this. And it's not because I can see foundation there and I can't see foundation there. It's not about it. It's about having all the things that you put afterwards. You do sculpturing of your your cheekbones and the blusher. This one still looks exactly the same as I put it back then. I put it on, and this one needs topping up. So for the day, it's probably that, because I think it's kinder to the skin. I don't actually feel it, but you might want to top up, not necessarily the foundation itself, but you might want to pop up the blusher, a little bit of cheek work there. Whereas with this one, you don't need to do anything. But I feel that my skin is a little bit kind of, I don't know, deprived, imprisoned in that, this feeling. So it's entirely, up to individual. What I would do before buying any of this, I would get tester. I would definitely try a tester of both. I'm quite impressed how long this did last. If I need to go out for the evening or whatever, I think this probably will be better. And you know what, as well, on the forehead, this one is more matte than this. There is certainly a little bit of a difference in the shade. This one is slightly more intense, and this one is just like my skin. And this one is, I think it's pale almond. Pink almond or pale almond, in other words. So, difficult verdict is kind of, I won't say 50-50, 60-40, but for me, it's very important how I feel, how my skin feels. This is better for summer, that's for sure, because your skin is breathing. This one, I feel it's sits there. I think while it's so durable and long wearing, is because I think there is something there that creates a film which seals your skin, basically, and that doesn't let anything penetrate because of air, because this is quite breathable. I think all the things like blusher and everything else kind of disappeared after so many hours. But I still think for a long day, this is still pretty good on the skin. So for the day and for summer, Lancome. Evening and different type of season where you need better coverage, probably, is that. So, difficult review for me, all of a sudden, but here we go. So, please write any comments or questions if you have. Thanks very much, and I see you soon. Bye.